folks, this video is not going to take too long. This is clearly the Panthers' worst game of the season. Let's just get this over with. There's really not a whole lot to talk about other than the Panthers got the beating by Filip Gustavsson, who is remarkable. He is just absolutely remarkable. Clearly out for revenge in the NHL, man. And I said this in the preview. I feel like I did say this in the preview, that these recent years, the Panthers match up horribly against the Minnesota Wild. And the Minnesota Wild always seems to have our number these past couple of years. And there's no answer to how to beat the Wild. I feel like it's the Miami versus Minnesota curse. It's just not good luck. So it started off with Sergei Bobrovsky. I keyword started off. Start off with Sergei Bobrovsky. They go up against Filip Gustavsson, who is just, again, absolutely remarkable. Remarkable player. Panthers came out swinging first. Sam Bennett is trying to get off. And, Gustafsson making all the saves in the first period. He is stopping some pucks. The first shot from Minnesota came, they came at 4-minute and 30-minute mark, as far as I remember, with Marcus Johansson with the wrist shot. And then, as much as the Panthers started off good and not allowed Minnesota to get the shots, Minnesota gets the last laugh as Jake Middleton is responsible for the assist. That's his first assist of the season. And Kirill Zaperzov with his 7th assist of the season. The tip-in goal is Marco Rossi with his third goal of the season, and Minnesota jumps up 1-0 very quickly. And then very quickly, a horrible win, a horrible defensive face-off loss with the Florida Panthers. Minnesota immediately jumps off to the 2-0 lead. Jonas Brodin with his 3rd assist of the season. Matt Boldy with his 5th assist of the season. Off the slap shot, it's Marcus Johansson. That's his first goal of the season, and it's a puck that buries through Bobrovsky, and Minnesota already leads 2-0. 22 seconds apart, Minnesota scores. Just not good. Not good defending, and not a good face-off loss for the Florida Panthers. The fact that they gave up that goal, it speaks volume. And welcome back, Matthew Tkachuk, for coming back into this game. Maybe then, Minnesota has our number. Not a whole lot has happened. Plenty of hits. Florida trying to get one back, and they just were not able to do so. But then we go to the second period. Nearly 1 minute in, there will be a penalty, and also too that Florida gets slashed off the stick in a 10-minute mark. Nothing was called, but Sam Bennett gets the unprivileged of being called interference against Joe Eriksson Ek. Minnesota goes on the power play, and they score on this power play. Joel Eriksson Ek with his 1st assist of the season, and Matt Zuccarello, that's his 3rd assist of the season. And off the tip-in, it's Matt Boldy with this 3rd goal of the season. 3rd goal of the game for the Minnesota Wild. And it's a power play goal. We gave up a special teams goal. It's a power play goal for the Wild. And Florida's losing 3-0. So Florida has to figure out how to get one into the back of the net. It's just nothing's working. Well, about 9 minutes later, we would eventually get one as Matthew Tkachuk makes his return, get his 3rd assist of the season, and Carter Verhaeghe, I thought he was the one that scored initially, but he gets a primary assist. That's his 4th assist of the season. Off the deflection through his foot at the skate, through his foot. It's not a kick, because if it was a kick, that would have been disallowed. But it deflected off Sam Bennett's skate, his right skate, and it just deflects to the back of the net by Filip Gustavsson. And Sam Bennett, just an absolute amazing start of the season. That's his 5th goal of the season. So if there's any consolation, the Florida Panthers is not going to lose in the shutout. So at least that's a positive. But still, so 3-1 Minnesota. Florida looked to get the momentum, and I had a good feeling about Florida Panthers getting the momentum. Unfortunately, the hope is just go up in smoke and flames. As 2 minutes and 2.5 minutes later, Minnesota gets one back as Jake Middleton gets another assist. That's his second assist of the season. And Kirill Zeprozov, that's his 8th assist of the season. Off the snapshot, it's Matt Zuccarello. That's his 4th goal of the season. And that Minnesota line is dangerous. They are just absolutely dangerous. They are the definition of the line that you don't want to mess with. That's his 4th goal of the season, and it's 4-1 Minnesota. So I'm starting to feel like Bobrovsky should get off the ice at this point. They let to keep Bobrovsky in, and then 2 minutes and 7 seconds later, as Florida is trying to get one back, Jesper Boquist trying to deflect off through the pass, try to get by Gustafsson. Nothing went happen. And in Minnesota, Joel Eriksson Ek wins a faceoff, and Jake Middleton has a puck, and they give it to Eriksson Ek to make it 5-1. So Jake Middleton gets another assist. I think that's his 3rd assist of the game, as far as I remember. That's his 3rd assist of the season, and off another snapshot. But Bobrovsky is just having a horrible game. Joel Eriksson Ek gets his 2nd goal of the season to make it 5-1. And it's gotten ugly. And they still kept Bobrovsky into the rest of the second period. Meanwhile, Florida, Carter Verhaeghe's trying to get one. Sam Bennett's trying to get one up again. But you can't. There's nothing that gets by Philip Gustafsson. We go to the 3rd period, and Bobrovsky is not coming back for the 3rd period. Instead, they put in Spencer Knight to fill in that role for the rest of the period. And he has to. They have to bench Bobrovsky at this point because I don't know if it's whether or not if he's playing too good and then trying to get some rest, but that's crazy because we had 3 days, and then you have a big game against New York up in Madison Square Garden on Thursday. You gotta rest him and then try to get that bounce back for Thursday game. But 3rd period, no one scored, but Florida came pretty close to start off. Minnesota try to get one, but even then Minnesota couldn't get one in. But Spencer Knight saving all the pucks from Minnesota while in the 3rd period. It's a clean 3rd period. So Minnesota obviously had a better period. Florida Panthers couldn't get one in much as Minnesota did. Broden tried to get one through. Johansson trying to get a 2nd. But Spencer Knight is saving all the pucks. And then there will be a penalty in the 3rd. I zoom out through because there's really nothing to talk about. It's just nothing. Sam Bennett gets a slashing call, which I would have loved if Minnesota had one in the 1st period, but nothing we could do there. Bennett gets a slashing call against Yakov Trenin, and Minnesota would pretty much wind down the clock with the puck. And that's it. The final score of this game is 5-1 Minnesota Wild. When we look at the team stats, Florida with more shots on goal, and that's in the 1st period alone. And then since then, Minnesota just climbed up, and then instead of Florida putting stuff into the back of the nets, they only got one off the Sam Bennett's deflection off the skate. Minnesota, 5 goals. 5 goals given up by Bobrovsky, but 0 by Spencer Knight. That's crazy. 55 total hits for Florida, 26 for Minnesota. And it's frustrating. It's kind of frustrating that they're more of a physical team than Minnesota, but yet Minnesota still gets the last laugh. For some reason, Florida matched up poorly. 28 faceoff wins for Minnesota, 22 for Florida. 2 power plays opportunity for Minnesota. They got one in the 2nd period. Was it 2nd period? Yes. Wait. No, I just lost myself. Let me double check real quick. Yeah, it was the 2nd period. I had a little brain fart for a second. I already forgot about this game. They got one in the 2nd period. They got another one in the 3rd period, which they did nothing with. Florida gets 0 power plays. What? You kidding me? One of our players got slashed in the first period. And then you could also say in the third period that there was an interference. Nothing got called. Mikula got interfered, but nothing was called. That's crazy how we don't get a single power play in the game. Not a single one. That's crazy. That's crazy. We got 2 penalties, they got 0. Insanity. Putrid. Just putrid refereeing. 20 block shots for Minnesota. That's how good the defense is. 12 blocks for Florida. 8 takeaways for Florida. 4 takeaways for Minnesota. They both have even 8 giveaways. And stars of the game. Joel Eriksson Ek with 1 star with 1 goal, 1 assist. 2 stars, Jake Middleton with 3 assists. Yeah, and all the assists that he has earned against Florida. And then 3 stars, Philip Gustafson with 3 stars. 24 out of 25 that Gustafson saved for the Wild. I am done talking about this game. Our next game is against the Rangers up in Madison Square Garden. That's a 7 o'clock face-off. Great. How will the Panthers respond with this loss? I guess we're about to find out. But yeah, the Rangers off an amazing start of the season. They only lost on overtime loss. I think it's against Utah. That's just we're in for a whole heat of trouble if the Panthers don't figure something out. But yeah, that's going to do it for this one. If you have enjoyed this video and not the game, because I think the game was uneventful, hit the like button, subscribe for more content anyway, because Miami TVG has it back. And when he does, he'll be right there with you for your entertainment you deserve. This is Miami TVG, signing out, and good night, everybody.